Welcome to World Denver Talks. My name is Dan Boyce. I'm a reporter with Inside Energy, which is a public media project housed here at Rocky Mountain PBS. And today I'm speaking with Gregory Kallenberg, and he's the director and producer of the Rational Middle Energy series. And that's a series of online videos exploring energy, and in particular, you focus on finding areas of common ground across the spectrum of industry and politics to find solutions to energy challenges. Thank you very much for being with us today, Greg.
Thanks.
The rational middle, does that actually exist in the energy debate?
It's a great question. I mean, I had to say that it does, and it is the vast majority of people that are out there. I think that when it comes to the issue of energy, it's such a polarizing issue that you have these pros and these antis that will stand behind their barricades, but it's really the group that's in the middle that not only are the people that want to know information about energy, but they're the ones who I believe are going to drive the energy future.
So the way this works is you have this online video series, but then you also set up screenings of these videos, and you tailor your showings to the crowd and the subject matter.
It really started back when I did a film called Haynesville, and in doing this documentary, I got to see the audiences come to a place where they wanted to have a discussion. And so what I wanted to do was really look at what these people needed to have a further discussion about energy, provide that to them, and then let them have it on their own. I mean, it doesn't have to be me. I mean, these videos are free and they're online. So when you look at the Rational Middle site, you can download any video you want, put it in the middle of a discussion, whether it's the boardroom, the policy meeting, or the classroom, have that energy information delivered to you via the film. And then the film is really meant to start a discussion, to give you a foundation of information.
I cover energy myself, so I know how broad of a topic it is. And you yourself, your team is trying to, in some ways, trying to cover this gamut.
Well, for us, I mean, we've done now 22 short films. They range between 5 and 15 minutes long, and they deal with things like energy efficiency, renewables, oil and gas drilling, the energy future, global warming. For us, what we're trying to do is really give someone a Chinese menu full of media and let them take that media and then utilize it the way they want to utilize it so that it's effective to them to drive their discussion to hopefully move us towards the energy future.
Talk to us about how that idea of the rational middle is the foundation of these films.
Yeah. What we try to do is we try to find energy experts that on paper, I'm not sure that you would think that they would all agree or be able to talk from that same place. I mean, people from the Rocky Mountain Institute and the people from the University of Texas, I mean, in your mind, there's an ideology that you think that they might have where they might not agree on things. But our belief at the Rational Middle is that you put these people into an arena and they start talking about a particular issue, the overlap is vast. The Rational Middle is not necessarily about agreeing on everything. It's about starting a discussion so that we can come to the compromises we need to come to in order to find a solution that is sustainable, affordable, and environmentally sound.
So on your website, you make it no secret that your project is sponsored by the Shell Oil Company. Yeah. And the site, it says you and your team maintain creative control over your work, but do you worry about that perception that to your audiences, when your funding comes from an entity that has a dog in this fight and certainly has a perspective on the topic?
Absolutely. I mean, we really, I had to say, when we released our first 12 films, we got hammered for being associated with Shell. But I think that we went back to the edict that it's about the work. And I think that's when our audience found us and started utilizing us in a way that we wanted them to utilize us. I mean, again, it's easy to sort of put the films into a place where, because Shell is sponsoring it, that it's a energy company's agenda. But again, what I always at least preach is that people need to go and see the films and then make their determination. And I think that what's happened is that through the first 12 and then when the second 10 were released, our audience turned for us. They really started to utilize the films and utilize them in places that really were completely unbiased, in a place where they just wanted to learn about energy and the energy future.
Sure, but if you are looking at videos if if you were looking at projects in an unbiased way and approaching them in an unbiased way, what's in it for Shell there?
You know, I can't answer that question. I mean, you'd have to ask somebody from Shell. But I mean, I think that for Shell, you know, what they probably would answer is that they're an energy company, and also they're a European company. And I think that being a European company, maybe they think more broadly about the discussion, or they understand that they're going to be parts of the discussion that they want to be party to, and not be sort of barraged about like a company like Exxon.
Also, the company does provide early input into the themes of the episodes, and as the website says, provides fact-checking in certain topics. How does that blend with this ability that you have to maintain control?
Right. Well, I mean, for us, you know, one of the things, the edicts that we came up with at the very beginning was that that everything got fact-checked. And when I say everything got fact-checked, everything has to be backed up by a government paper. And those papers are actually linked to the films online. So, you know, there was an agreement with us and with Shell, and I think that's for Shell to protect themselves as much as anything, that it wasn't a biased piece, that, you know, it was a paper written by a Shell guy. This is something where the facts that are in the films are actually taken from government white papers. They're taken from respected think tanks. So, I mean, we try really hard to make sure that when our experts are speaking from one side or the other, that it's backed up by facts that people can go back and check out themselves.
So I did want to bring up a recent blog post of yours about Tesla and their recent announcement of their new home energy storage system, the Powerwall. You say in your post that if folks miss this announcement, they missed a potentially historic moment. What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, when you look at the new iteration of what the grid needs to be as we sort of evolve ourselves into a clean energy future, I mean, part of that solution is what's called distributed grid, where houses and even the cars can actually be power generators for the homes and the businesses that are out there. Part of that distributed system, especially when you look at renewables as part of that solution, cannot operate without battery power. If you look at it's called Squeezing the Watt, the Rational Middle film, he talks about how battery power is the holy grail. And, you know, in your series, Blackout, one of the gentlemen says it's not a silver bullet that we need; it's the silver BBs. I believe is what he says, and it's absolutely true. Where each home out there can be a power station unto itself, and that's a pretty exciting thing to think about. Not only because of the fragility of the power grid, as Blackout talks about a lot, but also because what it does is it also enables all of us to be not only a power user, but a power giver too, or a power seller. And I think that is something that the Powerwall is getting. At least it's that first step. It's that first adoption of how our own, you know, utility level storage on a micro scale can actually happen.